What's up guys, this is a quick video on how to change your alternator belt and your air conditioning belt. So right guys, this will be for all Subarus. The alternator usually is in the same place, it's here at the top. Some of the layout will be slightly different on the older models and the other Subarus, but the alternator is always there. The only difference is the bracket might be in two parts instead of one whole part, and you might have to take 3 nuts off, 1, 2 and 3 on the other versions. This one's only got 2 on it, but it will be the exact same. So right guys, we're going to start off by undoing the battery first. So next we're going to take this bracket off here, and that's a 10mm nut on that side and a 10mm bolt on that side. So that's the first bolt we're loosening. After that we will loosen the locking bolt, which is right there. Once you've loosened that, don't take it off completely, and then we're going to loosen the adjustment bolt. So this mechanism here is very important. All you have to remember is this is a locking nut. This is an adjusting bolt what adjusts the alternator belt and the power steering belt to go up and down, which tightens it and loosens it. So you're going to loosen it from here or tighten it from here and then lock it off. Don't try to loosen it and tighten it without loosening this off, because it will snap the bolt. So right guys, that's what we're going to do now. We're going to loosen that and free the alternator up, so then we can loosen the tension bolt off to take the belt off. So next we're going to loosen the big bolt, which is right there, and it goes all the way across to a bracket at the back. Next we're going to loosen the locking bolt, which is down here. So right, you can see that's loosened it now. Next we're going to loosen the tension bolt to loosen the belt up, so we can take the belt off. So loosen the tension bolt, but don't completely take it out. Next thing we're going to do is take the belt off. So right guys, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to loosen the 12mm nut on the air conditioning belt, which is on the pulley down there at the bottom. I'll see if I can put a picture on and show you of it a bit closer. So right guys, this is the locking nut. what you need to loosen off. You don't need to take it off completely, you just need to loosen it. So that's the locking nut. So this is the adjustment bolt to adjust the belt to tighten it and loosen it. So what we're going to do is we're going to loosen this bolt off, and then we're going to loosen the tension bolt off, which will take the tension off the belt, and then we can take the belt off. So right, we're going to do that now. So right, once that's loose a bit, next thing we're going to do is we're going to loosen the tension bolt, which is right there, and that will loosen the belt up so we can take that off. So right, we're going to do that next. Next, take the air conditioning belt off. So right guys, that's the belt off. So right, I'm going to put my belt back on. So right, put it on the crank pulley first, and then put it over the air conditioning pulley afterwards. So make sure that the belt's on all the grooves. And now what we're going to do is we're going to tighten the tension bolt up to tighten the belt up. So right guys, now we're tightening the belt up, and what you want to do is make sure you don't do it too loose and you don't do it too tight. If you do it too loose, what's going to happen is it's just going to slip on the air conditioning pulley, which is not going to spin it, and your air conditioning is not going to work. If you do it too tight, what it will do, it will damage your bearings in your air conditioning pulley. So what you want to do is when your belt's on, so the longest part of it is, which is here, and it's like that, what you want to do is grab the belt and make sure it will turn up to 90 degrees, if you can see that. How can I show you that? Right, so basically it turns up to 90 degrees like that, both ways, but it doesn't go further than that. So what I mean is, you just grab the belt and you turn it, and it should go up to about 90 degrees. If it doesn't go, you need to loosen it up. If it goes too far, you need to tighten it up. So basically you want to make sure it just falls up to this point, 90 degrees. So that's what I'm going to do now, and make sure it's right. So right guys, I'm quite happy with the tension on the belt there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to tighten the locking nut at the bottom, and just tighten that up. Don't over tighten that, just tighten it up hand tight. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the alternator belt on now. So we're going to put it through the power steering pump first, and then the crankshaft pulley, and then finally we'll put it back onto the alternator. So right, that's the alternator belt back on. Just make sure it's on all the tracks and it's properly on. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to tighten the tension bolt and tighten the belt up. So right, once you're happy with the tension on your belt, then you need to lock it off with the locking nut underneath, and then finally we'll tighten the long bolt. The tension on the belt, just make sure, just make sure it's not too tight and it's not too loose. If it's too loose, what it will do, it'll slip on the alternator, which will not charge your battery, and it can slip on your power steering pump, and if it does that, your power steering won't work proper. So just make sure that you tighten it, but not too tight and not too loose. What I tend to do is I tend to grab the belt at the longest point. From here to here, that's the shortest point. From there to the camshaft, that's the longest point. So what I'll do is I'll try to push it from the middle there and check the tension there, and what I do with the belt is I twist it side to side, and I make sure that the belt can twist to about more or less 90 degrees. Not completely 90, but about just less than 90 on both sides, and then that's it, I'm happy with it there. If it goes too far, it means it's loose, it needs tightening up. If it doesn't go far enough, that means it's too tight, it needs loosening a bit. Make sure it's not too tight and it's not too loose. If it's too loose, it'll start slipping and it won't charge your battery up. If it's too tight, it can damage the bearings in the alternator, in the power steering pulley, or the drive bearings. So basically you've got a risk of bearings going in three places. So just make sure you don't leave it too loose and too tight. So right, I'm going to tighten the tension bolt, the locking nut up underneath now. Next we're going to tighten the long bolt up. what we're going to do now is we're going to connect the battery back up. So right guys, I'm quite happy with that. Now I'm going to connect the bracket back up and the job's finished. So right guys, I hope this helps somebody out, and thanks for watching guys. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Bye.